Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I appreciate you all for being here. I want you guys to check out this young lady who was on Pull Up and Chat discussing the state of the black couple in America right now. And she goes on to give some very strong opinions about men being able to cheat. But at the very end, she says something that is very, very important and very poignant. And the one thing I liked about this interview was that not only did she present what some of the problems are in our society, but she also offered a solution. Check it out.
I love my black men. I love my black culture, period. And all y'all ladies out here tripping on a man cheating on y'all, look, I see it like this. Our minds are mentally out of there. And we need to encourage them to be with more than one woman. I think a man should have as many women as he wants. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if we get past the drama of, oh, you know, you cheated on me, and you know, let a man be a man, stop trying to take control all the time, you know what I'm saying? I think we'll be a better culture. We'll be better fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? A man can be a man and woman be a woman to take care of them damn kids, all right?
But I think it's the wrong way. Like, I think a man should have his money up to do that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna take care of more than one man, have your money like
but
that.
Like I said, if a woman play her part, then she encourage her man, she pray for a man, take care of the kids, do everything. A man, and then he got more than one woman, so you got like what, 10 women praying for one man. Shit, he should have his money. Look, you know what I'm saying? Somebody ain't doing their job.
What made you come to this assumption about? I mean, this conclusion about like a man should have more than.
Me personally, I'm just on some different. You know what I'm saying? So
you would do a polygamy
like
relationship?
That comes from the love of my culture. That comes from the love of wanting to see us prosper. That comes from the fact that wanting to see us do better for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, we out here, you know what I'm saying, we have a lot of power that we don't know about. And once we get in line, we can fulfill.
Oh shoot! What the power is this? What power is this? Tell me the power.
You know what I'm saying? You know, we come from a different bloodline.
Yeah. What made you come to this? Or you ever tried like polygamy or anything like that?
I haven't tried it, but like I said, I'm down with it. It's basically it's simple. It's simple with me. I keep things plain and simple. Let a man be a man. You know what I'm saying? Let him. It's here in the United States as. But I think it's maybe 10 women to every one black man right now.
It is?
If it's something like that, you know what I'm saying? If that's not it, it's something like that. So I just feel like, you know, you got over in the United States is one of the newest countries. So in all the other countries, you got all kinds of men got 50 wives, 20 wives, 30. I mean, think, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said,
I don't think you're going to get American women on board with that, though.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
You ever told another woman that?
Somebody got to make the change. Somebody got to step up. Somebody got to say, hey, we need different. I mean, damn, you know what I'm saying? We can't go nowhere but up.
Yeah.
As our culture, look where we are. We can't go nowhere from here but up. So something has to change. In order for us to go up, something has to change. We have to put our mind and our heart and the love for each other to try to, you know, bring it together. Like I said, I love my culture.
So have you had this conversation with other black women about that?
No, you know what I'm saying? I'm still working on myself, actually. I'm kind of what you would call probably a late bloomer.
Yeah.
But hey, it's better now than ever. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I see it. So that's.
Why don't you start your own group talking about this type of stuff and see what stuff you can come up with? You ever thought about that?
Gotta be about it though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta. It starts from. He's starting from you. You say he's starting it off. We might as well start off like that.
Now, of course, I don't 100% agree with everything that she said. I don't believe that if you're in a committed relationship, specifically marriage, that the man can cheat, because to me, if the man can cheat, then the woman should be able to cheat if that's what it is. But truth of the matter is, most men would not be okay with that dynamic. You know, they can stick their thing wherever they want, but they're not going to allow their woman to do that. So to me, I don't think it's a good idea, because eventually, whether the woman agrees with it or not, at some point, things get out of balance. And when things are out of balance, the wife is not happy. And when that happens, hell breaks loose. So I personally don't believe that is a good idea, a good way to go, regardless of history and how things are done in other societies. But the one thing that she said at the very end was that we do have to think we have to start thinking. And the one thing we have to think about is the fact that for the last 40 to 50 years, we haven't gotten it right. Families have been broken up. Women are raising children. There's no men in the home. There's dysfunction and chaos in our community. And something has to change. Now, whether that change be the women acquiescing to the men's demands and desires, or the men giving up what it is that they feel so strongly about in order for the union to be together. But at the end of the day, something has to change. And she's absolutely right. I don't know what the solution is. I think at this point, we are just beating a dead horse by talking about it over and over again and just reiterating the state of our community, rather than offering solutions as to how to fix it. How do we bring it back? I personally think and believe that black men and black women are both at fault. I can't put the blame on the state of our society just on one gender. I can't do that with a clear conscience. So we have to figure out how to come together. I think since we equally played a part in a role, in the dysfunction of our community, I think we equally should come together and figure this thing out. Because if you have the women just giving in with all of the programming that has already occurred over all of these years and things that have been embedded into our brains, the way society is supposed to be ran, it's going to be very, very difficult to switch that. It's going to be very difficult to switch that. If women just said, okay, F it. I'm going to deal with this man. I'm going to take care of the kids. I'm going to let him run amok and do what he wants to do and sleep with whoever he wants. I don't see that being a viable option. I'm trying to imagine it in my head. You know, I've been cheated on before. In my marriage, I'm not sure if he cheated. I don't know. It's possible, but I didn't suspect it. I just knew it, you know, it wasn't going to last longer anyway, so it wasn't a big deal for me at that point, and I didn't push the subject. But I've been cheated on by a fiance, and that was one of the most hurtful things ever. I was able to forgive him and move on, and we came back together, and then he went to prison. So that's why we didn't stay together. Would he have cheated again? Probably. Would I have stayed? I don't know. I think if I had children by him and we had finally gotten married, I probably would have tried to work it out until I just couldn't take it anymore. You know? So I'm just thinking about myself in that, like, which side of the movement do I want to be on? You know? But at the end of the day, I think we have to understand that in order to move the needle forward, she said the only way to go is up. If the only way to go is up, we have to do something different, and we have to sacrifice. Sacrifice is how we move the needle forward. As a society, as a black community, we have to give up something in order for us to collectively advance. You know? So I don't know if being okay with men cheating is a good one or not. I'm not sure. But if we look at it from the other side and say, well, men, if you want a traditional wife that's going to stay home, support you, and raise the kids, you know, there has to be a level of success that you have to attain in order to get those traditional characteristics from that woman. You know, if you're able to provide, you know, so as a whole with the men, you know, education is going to have to be a priority. You know, you guys are going to have to go out, learn a skill, a trade, or get some formal education in order to be able to provide enough for that woman to be able to stay home and be a complete source of support for you and the children. you know. So but there has to be, so you're gonna have to sacrifice your time and maybe take out some student loans in order to do that, you know. But I think she's right. I think it's gonna take an effort on both parties at the same time. You can't just have the women accepting cheaters without the men not doing their part too. Because we're in this mess because of the men and the women, period. One of the first solutions would definitely have to be getting off social media. I think the bashing between women and men, specifically within my community, because that's my only concern, the bashing has to stop. I think that would be a great start to getting people back in a rhythm of dealing with everybody on a humanity type level, where we see each other as people and not just we have to make a pact that we're gonna stop watching it and stop engaging in it, and eventually that will stop the other people, that will stop the content creators from creating it. So I think that's just a baseline solution that I have. I think that would help us out regularly, because what happens is, because I'll tell you what, in the real world, like, none of my friends bash men. Like, I don't, you know, I only see this on social media. I am an older woman. I've been around for a while, and I've seen and had lots of conversations and things like that. You know, and when I get on the phone with my friends, the ones that I talk to for hours and hours, the subject of men is not the main topic. I think men would like to think that. Maybe when I was younger, you know, but past the age of like 30, men was not the main topic for me, because I was too busy trying to get it. You know, there was so much other things to talk about, you know, the world and politics and life and just survival and health, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't have that issue in my circle, you know, and majority of the women that I deal with online, in this space, you know, our main conversations are not about men. It's more so about what can we do to fix our community so that we can be better for our children and their children's children, you know? So I think if we stop watching so much social media with this type of content, the content creators stop creating it, people won't take that information and use it out there in the real world. And I think that's what's happening too. You know, I heard a guy say, well, I was in the chat on Demetra K's channel. Make sure you guys check out Demetra K. Not Demetria, it's Demetra K. Demetra K. She talks a lot about politics. She's up on all of that. And then she also discusses, you know, social issues, particularly things that are all black, that affect the black community. And so last night she was discussing the NFL drafts and how typically during the NFL drafts you'll see these young black men getting opportunities to play professional football, and their black mothers are sitting there, and then they'll have a white girl, and somehow the conversation turned into competition, and it stated, you know, people were stating that black women aren't willing to compete for a good black man anymore. And you know, the biggest pushback was that, well, you know, no, why would we? You know, women should not be competing for anybody. At the end of the day, we're women. You don't have to compete for a man. If a man does not send for you, that means that man just does not want you. When a man wants you, he's coming to get you. Period. I ain't never had to chase no man before. I tried hounding down a guy one time only. I learned very quickly, you know what? Stay in your lane. This is not your ministry. So no, competing for a man is totally out of the question. It's unladylike, and it gives off very desperate, if you will, vibes. So any dignified woman would never compete for a man, ever. But in that conversation, you know, it's shown me that the dynamics of dating and courting and just even having a curiosity about the opposite sex has changed, and the roles have changed, and it's all by design. It's all because of social media. You have men now wanting women to vie for their attention rather than the man seeking out that woman that he's attracted to and letting her know, hey, I like you, let's go out. Now the men expect for the women to fight each other to hold that number one spot. And I think it's very interesting, and I think it's also shameful, but I'm curious to see where this generation is going to go. All I could do at this point is raise my son to be a gentleman, as well as teaching him that you don't ever let a woman step all over you at all. And I practice that a little bit sometimes by giving him the authority on certain things. He is only 9, but I want him to understand that as a male, he's going to be expected to do certain things. So I push him sometimes when it comes to being indecisive, making decisions. This is your choice. It's going to affect both of us. What do you want to do? Just to get him used to being in that role, because I'm not going to be around forever. I need him to have that confidence that he can make a decision that's going to benefit more than one person, you know. But it's a cold, cold world out here. I don't know. Tell me, what do you guys think about what this woman's suggesting? Should we just let y'all cheat in peace and then that'll solve everything? And if so, do you think that is reasonable, and do you think that is possible based on our history and how things have been going up until this point? Is that a viable solution? What do you guys think? All right. You know what I was also thinking about? The way things were back in the day and how our grandmothers stayed in relationships even though the husbands were cheaters and things like that. They stayed. So I can imagine how men of today are frustrated because the women are nothing like their mothers and grandmothers who stayed in these long relationships even though they were being cheated on. I think part of the issue with that is the fact that a lot of times those women were dependent on the men, so they had no choice but to stay. Yeah, they had options to leave and figure it out, but most stayed because they were in that position. So nowadays you have women who are making their own money, and if their man cheats, they can just leave, whether they have children or not. So I think that's probably part of the frustration of men is, well, women have an out now, you know? So what's the solution? To me, the solution is simple. Just don't cheat on your wife. But I know that that's hard to do for a lot of men who can't control their urges, and their wife no longer satisfies them, so they want something new and different. I don't know. It's tricky. I think I'm just trying to come up with ways that we can satisfy both. But at the end of the day, the solution really is just sacrifice. Somebody's got to give a little, and the other's got to give a little, and together, you know, we can come back as a family and a community. But, you know, with one side just saying, no, you know, it has to be this way, she has to deal with this, and no, he's gonna have to deal with this and put up with this. I just don't think that's reasonable. But I think we'll figure it out. I don't know. It may not happen in my lifetime, though. It just may not happen in my lifetime, but we'll have to see.